they push you down, I will raise my voice and stand my ground. Well, it looks like it might be a hard road, but I'm gonna walk it with you.
The Democrats' anti-DOGE choir is back with a fresh new track that's almost as painful as Greg's bumping music. Those liberal lunatics capping off another week of anti-Elon rallies, raging against the waste management wizards. DOGE now has a website that's keeping score on all the government slop they're digging up. Case in point, the Department of Education just had to slash grants to 4 equity assistance centers, blowing $33 million of your taxpayer cash on things like this workshop on whiteness.
Today's virtual roundtable is entitled Identifying and Disrupting Your Whiteness, a workshop addressing power and privilege toward anti-racist spaces.
And we just got an exclusive clip. Sean Hannity sitting down with President Trump and Elon Musk for their first joint interview. Let's watch.
You're both aware, you have to be keenly aware, that the media and the punditry class, not that, I think you've proven they have no power anymore because they threw everything they had at you and they didn't win. And that was, the New York Times, Washington Post, 3 networks, every late night comedy show, 2 cable channels. They threw everything, lawfare, weaponization.
Sure.
And now I see they want you two to start, they want a divorce. They want you two to start hating each other. And they try, President Elon Musk, for example. You do know that they're doing that to you.
Oh, I see it all the time. They tried it, then they stopped. That wasn't, they have many different things of hatred. Actually, Elon called me. He said, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. They said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, It's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president. Because I think nobody in history has ever gotten more bad publicity than me. I could do the greatest things. I get 98% bad publicity. I could do, outside of you and a few of your very good friends, it's like the craziest thing. But you know what I have learned, Elon? The people are smart. They get it.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They get it. They really see what's happening.
Yes.
That interview airs next Tuesday at 9 o'clock Eastern. All right, Judge Janine, more singing from the Democrats.
Yeah.
Are you enjoying that?
I have to tell you that there is no better way for the Democrats to continue to destroy themselves than to continue on this mission that they have with the F Trump and F Elon and the singing, when the American people are like, we get this, just the way the President Trump was saying. We get this. We want to know where all the expenditures are going. I just said to someone, did you know that $22 billion went to illegals from Joe Biden over 2 years, I think actually a year and a half, for them to buy a house and buy a car and start a business when senior citizens and veterans are, homeless or trying to figure out medication or food. So I just hope the Democrats continue to go down that road. Now, 14 attorney generals across the country are now suing, saying that Elon Musk doing this is a violation of the Appointments Clause, and he lacks Senate confirmation, and he's got too much private information at his hands. You know what? It's nothing more than politically motivated attempt to destroy and hide. Because as a prosecutor, I say to myself, who is against exposing fraud and corruption? Okay, the ones who are at risk of being charged with fraud and corruption. And, the ones who favor a bureaucracy. And let the Dems do it. They'll lose again.
We're seeing polling in Arizona from swing state people. Kennedy, they want them to keep going. They say keep cutting. They love it.
And it was actually a very interesting polling group, because it was people who had voted for Biden in 2020 who then switched their votes to Trump in 2024, because Bidenomics, as was the case for most people in the country, it didn't work out for them. So it didn't work out for them because their taxes are too high, eggs are too expensive. People still are having a hard time making mortgage payments and paying the rent and affording college and everything else. So now they're realizing where that hard-earned tax money is actually going. And the more we hear about $160 million going to a Canadian electric school bus factory that has now declared bankruptcy and never made good on their promise to deliver school buses, 100 million of them, to 55 school districts in the country, like, that's where my money has gone. They actually want more of it, because the feeling is if you cut out entire departments and if you shed sunlight on all of this waste and abuse, then maybe taxes will finally come down. Then maybe federal expenditures will come down. And I'm shocked that Democrats haven't gotten on board with this and gone, you know what? We're not helping people if we're squirreling this money away to projects that do absolutely nothing. We're Democrats. We're the party of the working man. So let's ferret out the abuse and find better, less expensive ways to truly help people. But they're not doing that, and that's dumb.
Why can't they just have a reasonable position, Harold, where they thread the needle and say, yeah, we don't need the sex changes for the Guatemalans. You know, we don't need the DEI operas, but maybe we could just do this in a little bit of a more constitutional way.
Good to be with you, Kennedy. Good to see you. I think, and happy Valentine's Day, I think a couple things.
Well, Harold, thank you. I didn't think we were at that level.
We're not, okay. Nor will we ever be. But I was really wishing all of the viewers happy Valentine's Day. I'd say, I think that Kennedy touches on something with the Arizona swing voters. And Democrats need to be mindful. These were Democrats, or at least voted Democrat, then voted Republican this last go round, how they're perceiving this and how they're evaluating. This is the group that Democrats, I think, those that are singing outside the agencies and outside the Capitol, I think this is the group they're trying to appeal to, but they're not. A separate survey that Gallup conducted showed that 45% of Democrats think that Democrats need to be more moderate. It's an 11-point increase from just 3 or 4 years ago. These are the things we should be taking note of. Now, what President Trump and Mr. Musk and others are doing with this DOGE and some of the other things, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. This is only 4 weeks in here. We've got a long way to go. Democrats, if you are serious about wanting to reform government, then offer your own ideas. Offer other ideas to make government operate more efficiently. Offer more ideas to help cut spending and to bring our deficit down and to help tackle this enormous $36 or $37 trillion deficit that we have. I think Donald Trump knows something as well. If we're 6 months from today, or when we're 6 months from today, and he is still not engaging Congress, I think right now not engaging Congress is serving him well. A Democrat, Republican alike, they can't wrap their heads around the speed and the scale in which he is operating at this point. But if you, in that same poll of Arizona voters, it showed that people are giving the president a little latitude and benefit of the doubt on inflation. If we found ourselves with high prices like we have today, 6 months from now, 8 months from now, and Republicans can't come together in the House and the Senate around a border security bill, which they seem to be squabbling about right now, even a long-term budget deal, we may have a different conversation. But as we sit here today, Jesse, I agree with you, and I agree with Kennedy. This is not a moment to be singing outside of agencies. This is a moment to get serious about a plan, about a set of ideas, and frankly, how we would make government operate more efficiently.
If you could Doge one thing at this table, Harold, would it be Greg's collar?
I like Greg's collar.
I'd let him Doge it.
Doge.
Yes.
A different turn.
Greg?
Jesse.
How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great.
You look great.
And thank you for the chocolates.
You're welcome.
Yes,
I
thank
know
you.
Belgium's your favorite.
You know, you asked Harold about, can they do a reasonable position? It's hard because that lane is taken. When you say reasonable position, you mean common sense. So that's the high ground, and there's nothing around a high ground. I'm not interested in saying that the Democrats suck. Leave that to outnumbered. I say right now you suck, but here's what you got to do to get out of it. I think a lot of Dems, people watch this show. There are more Democrats watching this show than CNN and MSNBC combined. So they come here for some kind of free therapy, and I'm here to give it to you because I actually want them to join us. And the Democrats have a choice to join the good guys or become a Bond villain. Because if you're going to defend waste, fraud, and abuse, you are basically embracing the life of a Bond villain. Actually, it's worse than that. It's like do you ever watch a zombie movie and you go like, it would be just so much easier to get bitten and become a zombie because then you're no longer terrified.
Never considered that.
Yeah, I do that all the time. I go like, just get bitten. That's what I think that a lot of Dems are doing is that they're embracing a role that is just easier, but it forbids them from ever becoming the good guy. They're becoming a zombie. And I think this is a bigger moment than maybe most people realize. This is, I think, the biggest political moment since the fall of communism. In that case, that end was definitive. The wall comes down, USSR dissolves. Suddenly, communism just evaporates, except in colleges. For the Democrats, the wall has come down. And many of their leaders sense that the Democrat Party of before is dead. It's not in need of a rebrand. It's in need of a full body and mind transplant. And it's really hard to do that when you still have that stuff, the singing, the equity, the DEI. I don't think you can underestimate how wokeness, which is fueled by identity politics, essentially cultural Marxism, infected the party and ate it out, devoured it from the inside. In a way, it's very similar to what happened to USSR, except it happened to a party, not a country. So I think that the Dems, my advice is to stop thinking about the role as an adversary to Trump. You have to ask yourself, what are we? You may find out that you're not anything anymore. And then they have to decide, what does that mean? Do I leave this party? Do we start something new? What would that new thing be? Because it's really hard to find an oppositional point to Trump because he's neither conservative, right? He's neither liberal. He's basically a populist. And it's hard to get footing when the guy's picking 80-20 popular issues. It's like when you said, a reasonable position, every one of them is taken.
And you're welcoming Democrats to go on this road of self-discovery here on the Five.
I think that I think that it's very hard to join the good guys if it's a blow to your ego and the opportunity costs that you've already dropped into your side.
Greg, I give you even more credit. I think it's the Republican Party and Democrat Party, as we know it today, that is flummoxed and, frankly, has to reinvent itself.
I think you're right.
And it's Trump that's going to organize it.
It's bigger than we ever thought.
Well, if you want more of that beautiful interview between Elon Musk, Sean Hannity, and Donald Trump, 9 o'clock Eastern, Tuesday. Check it out. But up next, Democrats need less Chuck Schumer and more Chuck Norris.